Hello everyone, happy rainy Monday. I'm back reading Who Was Amelia Earhart? And yeah, here we go. We're on chapter 2, A Woman of Character. In the fall of 1916, when Amelia was 19 years old, she boarded a train for the Ogon School in Pennsylvania. Amelia didn't mind going far away from home. She was starting on a new adventure. And here she is at the train station on her new adventure. The head of the Ogon School was a woman named Miss Sutherland. At first, Amelia did not like her, but in time she changed her mind. Miss Sutherland was strict, but very smart. She had opinions on all sorts of subjects, and although Miss Sutherland had many chances to marry, she never did. Miss Sutherland was more interested in her career than a husband. Miss Sutherland was an independent woman who made a big impression on her pupils, or students. The other students and teachers at Ogon's admired Amelia. She was shy but charming. She was a good athlete, and she was also a practical girl. In a letter home to her mother, Amelia wrote, "I don't need spring clothes, so don't worry about sending me money. I know you all need things more than I." Once, Amelia even bought hand-me-down shoes from a friend. So Amelia was saving money, which is pretty good. In her second year, Amelia was elected vice president of her class. Amelia wrote the class motto. She strongly believed in what it said. Honor is the foundation of courage. So that is her motto, or what she lives by. While Amelia was at Ogon's, the United States entered the First World War. During the Christmas holidays of 1917, Amelia went to Toronto, Canada. Her sister Muriel was at school there. Amelia's mother also joined them. In Toronto, Amelia saw soldiers who had been wounded in the war. Amelia wanted to help. Within a week, she made a decision. She was not going back to Ogon's. Instead, she would stay in Toronto. Amelia would train to be a nurse's aide and work in a hospital. People who knew Amelia weren't surprised. Amelia always acted on what she believed in. So here's a picture of the hospital at the war. There's a little nurse, so that's what Amelia is going to do. She's going to go become a nurse's assistant. So here's a little bit of information about World War I. That's what's happening right now. So there's some soldiers in the field, and they're fighting. It was called the Great War, but it was really terrible. More than 30 million people were wounded or died in World War I between the years of 1914 and 1918. 1 million people, oh my God, 30 million people, that's a lot. At the beginning, only Germany and Austria-Hungary were fighting against the Allied forces of Britain, Russia, and France. As the war dragged on, more countries got involved. The United States joined the Allies, entering the war in April of 1917. By the summer of 1918, about 200,000 American soldiers were being sent to Europe each month. That's so many. These soldiers often lived in deep ditches. They dug these trenches for protection as they fought. It was called trench warfare. So basically they dug these really deep holes that lasted for a really long time. They were really long and deep holes, and everyone lived in the holes to stay away from all the fighting. Basically they'd fight from the holes, or the trenches. Peace finally came with an Allied victory in November of 1918. So the Americans, the British, the French, they won. Most people thought there could never be another war like this. Unfortunately, they were wrong. Only 20 years later, the world exploded into World War II. So that's a little bit of information about where Amelia was coming from. That's chapter 2. I'm going to keep going with chapter 3. Chapter 3, Amelia chooses a career. Amelia worked into a Toronto hospital until World War I was over. Then she came back to the United States. She wanted to study science. Maybe she could become a doctor. Amelia decided to enroll at Columbia University in New York City. At that time, most men wanted wives who would stay at home. That was fine with most women, but not with Amelia. She could not understand why a woman had to give up work just because of a wedding ring. Amelia wanted a career, but she just couldn't decide what career she wanted. After some time at Columbia, Amelia quit school again. She went to Los Angeles. Amelia's parents were back together again, and she moved in with them. Amelia's family was hoping that Amelia would settle down soon. Amelia was seeking a young man named Sam Chapman. Sam asked Amelia to marry him, but Amelia knew that Sam did not want her to have a career, so she said no. Amelia knew what she didn't want. Still, she was drifting. Then, on Christmas Day in 1920, her life changed. 23-year-old Amelia Earhart and her father were with a crowd of people in Long Beach, California. They were all looking up at the sky. Why? An air show was taking place. So here's a picture of the air show, and the planes are still pretty old, but they work, and Amelia was amazed. Pilots raced each other in the planes. They also did incredible tricks like wing walking. Amelia was fascinated. She had just one question. How much would it cost to take flying lessons? At that time, there were no airports or runways. Planes took off from big, empty fields. 3 days later, Amelia and her dad went to Rogers Field. It was there she took her first plane ride. The flight was 10 minutes long. That's pretty short. Usually flights are more than an hour. The pilot sat in front. Amelia sat behind him. The cockpit was completely open. Amelia and the pilot wore goggles to protect their eyes. The plane bounced across the bumpy field for takeoff, and then it slowly rose into the air. Right away, Amelia was hooked. She later said, as soon as we left the ground, I knew I myself had to fly. So she wanted to be a pilot right then. She went in, she was like, this is amazing. This is my job now. Amelia was not drifting any longer. From that day on, she had a goal. Amelia was going to become a pilot. At nearby Kinner Airfield, a woman named Nita Snook gave flying lessons. A woman pilot. This was just what Amelia wanted. Nita agreed to teach Amelia to fly. It would cost $1 a minute. In 1921, that was a lot of money, but Amelia was willing to pay. The next day, Amelia arrived for her first flying lessons in riding pants, boots, and a jacket. So here's a picture of Amelia all set to go. She's wearing her boots and her pants and jacket. She had walked 3 miles from the streetcar to the airfield, but she wasn't tired. She was excited that her dream was about to come true. That first day, Amelia only taxied the plane on the ground, but it wasn't long before she was up in the air. Amelia was a good student. She just seemed to know naturally what to do. Nita and Amelia became good friends. At 24, Nita was only 1 year older than Amelia. Amelia wanted to learn all about airplanes. She pestered or bothered Nita with questions all the time. When the weather was good, Amelia practiced flying. When the weather was bad, Amelia didn't waste that time. She read and studied about flying. Amelia also learned to repair or fix airplanes. She cut her long hair short, and she bought a leather jacket, which is good for the winds. The jacket was soon wrinkled and oil-stained, but Amelia didn't care. Learning about airplanes kept her busy all the time. Soon, Amelia wanted her own plane. With her mother's help, Amelia bought one at Kinner Airfield. Nita thought the plane was too small to be safe. Amelia ignored her. She had her plane painted yellow and named it the Canary. On December 15, 1921, Amelia took the test for her license. It was a little less than 1 year from where she took her first lesson, but she passed. And Amelia Earhart was now an airplane pilot. Pretty cool. It sounds like her dreams are coming true. All right, guys. We'll start chapter 4 on Wednesday when I come back, but I hope you guys have had a great day and a good Easter, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.